Welcome, guys, to the Ultimate Paradox podcast. I am your host, Wesley Steyer. I yesterday did a recording without all this in your visuals. I chose it to be more of a static, perhaps that suits or the skyline of Rotterdam is beautiful enough to have behind me while I'm talking with you. I don't know what suits you best. Yesterday, I didn't really properly introduce myself. I am a Dutch citizen, 39 years old. My name is Wesley Steyer. I've been living in Thailand for a long time. I kinda consider this my home. Wouldn't want to be at another place because this is my home. I do have a question for you guys. Do you guys want something like this? Like a beautiful still without my hands and anything, just like a cover picture where I just talk throughout the ultimate paradox. I don't know which is best. I kind of give you guys a vote in this because looking at myself, I don't really have a problem. I'm not walking away from my other self in the camera right in front of me, in your window of truth, your source of truth. Anyways, so yesterday I did a first episode of many, many more to come. So a Dutch citizen in Thailand for a long time. The first with a 3D printed titanium elbow. Okay, how did you get that one? Well, saved someone's life, got in an accident myself. That's the best way to cut it short. Lost everything, and here I am, rebuilding my life. 1 centimeter, or maybe even 1 millimeter at a time, because the accident occurred on the 14th of December 2023, about 7 p.m. Well, exact time was 6:15, 6:20, something like that. That stripped me of everything. My money, my relations, my job, everything gone in a blast. My abilities gone as well. Sorry for making a snippy snappy noise. It's for a big Mali noise named Bink, who's kinda wanting to disrupt my podcast in the wildest form he can. You can see his head down there. He's 11 years old and he's an import big dog from the Netherlands, trained police dog. So yes, I am a jack of all trades, master of none, a generalist, but there was a time where I was also a specialist. So in Thailand, there's a lot of things I like, but I don't want to talk about Thailand. I actually want to talk about what's happening in the world and how a rehearsal for something became something bigger. Because now, many years ago, Russia said it was doing a military exercise. Well, this military exercise now is slowly heading towards World War III. Everyone said that Russia would only last days, hours, minutes. But here we are, years in, and we are still, after all that America did, after all that the world did to limit the people's movement, the Russian citizens are limited in their movement, Russian citizens are limited in their finances. Here we are. not a whole lot has changed for them, except not being able uh, to move as freely as they were used to. But now, more people are invited to the table. Iran, Israel, kind of becomes a big and complicated table, though. I don't know. Then there's these big disruptions with AI, automation, if you really like, because we're kind of trying to do a good guess with a prompt, and it's a hit or miss scenario. If you ask AI the one question 2 times, you get 2 different answers because it's like a probability guess. And it's kind of like getting your drunk uncle to drive you home. That can be a hit or miss too. And yet, here there are so many people trying to run their businesses fully based on a drunk uncle because they don't understand what this system is doing. They don't understand the way to enhance a prompt. They don't understand how to interact with a machine. They just think that it's like writing a letter for their lovely niece or that drunk uncle. If your quality of input is low, your quality of output would remain low as well. So now I want to make this a duality, if you like. So taking myself as an example, and I know plenty of other people where this would be applicable. If your quality of inputs is low, whatever motivates your life, job, salary, if this is all little, are you reaching your full potential? I don't necessarily believe you are. Yet, here we are in the age where AI made thousands and thousands of jobs redundant. And for these people, there is no new income, no new fix of the way how they were used to being experts in their field. They're no longer. They're made redundant. Just like the Industrial Revolution, if you would like. Sounds like I have a lot of opinion, everything I'm saying here. If something is good or something is bad. No, I'm trying to say, think about it. If you make AI relate to your life, what kind of inputs do you put into your life? Because what you put in will result into what's coming out. Same with AI prompting. That was what I was trying to link to. I'm kind of teasing one's brain, if you like, because a lot of people just ask AI like Google, hey, tell me the answer to XYZ. That's like 80% of prompts. And the 20%, I'm using 80-20 Pareto rule for some reason. This 20% goes into, hey, I'm trying to come up with the most vivid example. I recently used myself, hey, insert your tool of choice. ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud, Perplexity. There's no right or wrong. All of them are means to an end. Now you define what someone is. So if you define yourself, what are you? You are, this is your input. What are you? Basically, I know what I am, but what are you? Do you know on a slide of to define yourself in keywords? I have been a critical infrastructure architect for 2 decades. What did I do? Amazing, crazy shit. Sorry, I use the S word. That might limit me on my. But what did I reach with that? I created that. I was part of the early discovery of Stuxnet. I saw evolution of that in factories. I've helped people obtain ISO certifications. So security was my default for my life. But back to the prompting. So if I now need to define my prompt, what parts am I particularly bad at? Where do I need AI to enhance myself? Well, I know for one thing that running a small business in Thailand or trying to marketing yourself, marketing itself is like you, you have this wow of amazing energy and you try to burst it out through this video screen, punch someone in the face, maybe literally. Nah, we're not doing that. We're trying to do it with words. We try to have a catchphrase, a hook. So, yeah, I do know something about marketing, but am I good at it? No. So, can I use AI to enhance my messaging by saying, hey, again, insert tools, whatever, I need you to act like a social media expert. I'm trying to obtain goal. Set goals for yourself too in life. So I'm trying to obtain goal. Personally, I've helped a lot of people implement ISO 27001 and 27701 and whatever, a lot of these ISO standards. But I never obtained lead implementer or even auditor or anything. So this is kind of my 2026 thinking spot because in Asia, um, in Europe, GDPR and whatever is a real big thing. But in Asia, we now introduced PDPA, and so basically, let's call it the Asian formats of GDPR, and they are country specific. So you have Singapore, you have China, no, China. You have Malaysia, very, very much strict. You have Vietnam and you have Thailand. These three are all kind of active in this GDPR space. Yet, not a lot of people know how to make this practical for their customers. What does having a GDPR problem entail for a small hotel? A lot of people don't understand. What does it mean for a yacht operator? Even less people understand. What does it mean for you when your data from this hotel ends up somewhere? Now you've been pawned. Your data is gone. What rights do you have? I bet a lot of people listening to this don't understand. So, what angle am I trying to take with the Ultimate Paradox podcast? Security awareness, real life linking, merging them together like a beautiful package. Also bringing in real life examples with like the AI example I just did where I said, hey, whatever to act like, do this, don't do that. Because AI, or actually any form of work, defining what, when, where, what, when, where, three things are so important. Yet, when it comes to scoping jobs, scoping work, making packages, getting these deliverables out, no one really hits the mark. So I want to dive deep into these. I want to teach you today with think about how you use tools to improve your life, implement an improvement strategy, and three, look at how using a tool and how your life they are intertwined. So getting that best input for your own life to get a better output. On that note, that was the Ultimate Paradox podcast of the 16th of March, aka Ultimate Paradox number 2. I want to know if next time you don't want to see me and you want to see something like this, because hey, water is beautiful. Guys, have a nice whatever morning, afternoon, evening. Peace out.